Hey. It's okay, I didn't step on an onion. Welcome to Stay Grounded Gardening, especially if you're new here. Welcome. Today, I am going to be going over a couple different things. I will be showing you the garden and the progress that has been made. Though it is small, it is exciting, and I have lots to show you that has popped up in the garden since last week, and also what the plan is for the felt pots that I have. I originally really wanted to put sweet potatoes in there. Oh, it's just a long story. So I guess let's just get into it, I guess. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I live in central Alberta, gardening zone 3B. We don't have a very long growing season. We have about 80 to 90 days. And some things are harder to grow than others. And I have been told that one of those things is sweet potatoes. You like that? You like that reveal? So this is a sweet potato slip that I have placed in a small vase, potato. And I started growing these in March. So what I did was I took a sweet potato and a Tupperware container and filled it kind of halfway full of dirt, put the sweet potatoes halfway into the dirt, like halfway up the sweet potato, and wet the soil, and then slid it into my seedling kind of starter shelving, just like I would with any other kind of seed. Now, normally what you would do is just make sure that the soil is kept nice and moist, and then voila, they're supposed to grow out. This grows out of the sweet potato. It grows roots down into the soil, and you can literally see them if you have a Tupperware container that's kind of clear. You can see all of the roots kind of going crazy, and then these slips will grow out of the sweet potato, and this is a slip. What happened was I went on a trip and I had to have somebody watch my seedlings for me. And I think just because they look a little different and it's not the same as just like a regular seedling tray, is they got missed somehow. So the soil was super dry when I got back, and I think it put me back a lot when it came to growing the slips in that soil on those sweet potatoes. Now, whatever, like, stuff happens, it's fine. I figured I would lose some plants either way, because nobody takes care of your plants as much as you're going to take care of your plants, and that's fine. If I didn't have somebody watching them, I probably would have lost all of them. In fact, I more than likely would have lost all of them. So I am super thankful for the plant sitting, or the seedling sitting, that I got for those 10 days. However, my sweet potato slips didn't produce really anything except for this one, and it had a little bit of a fungus on it. Still has a little bit of the fungus on it. I don't know if that's going to affect it at all. I did Google it, and it seems that sweet potato slips do that quite often. They grow a lot of different kind of funguses, and they even say that the white spores, you can eat them. So I'm not about to do that, but turns out they're not that bad. So we'll see. I only have the one slip, and as you can probably see, I have 5 of these bags. One slip I can't divide into 5. So I ordered online 10, I think, slips. It was not cheap, I'll just say that. And it was one of the only places in Canada that I could order live sweet potato slips from. I did get an email right after I purchased them confirming my order, and then straight after that I got another email saying that they were having issues with tracking their packages. And to me, I don't know much about that kind of stuff, so I was just like, oh, okay, that seems legit. Especially with COVID and all the rest of that kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll just keep on checking. They did give like an estimated time of arrival between 3 to 4 weeks, depending on the weather and such. So sorry, pokey in my shoe. I grabbed the mail pretty much every other day just to see if they were there, and they never showed up. So you could say that I was pretty disappointed, because I was really looking forward to planting something kind of odd to plant in Canada. First of all, it's not super popular for Canadians or Albertans, or central Albertans especially, to be growing something like sweet potatoes. But I thought, you know what, I have this space, I have these cages protecting the dirt, so let's try and plant something in there that makes sense. I will do the one sweet potato slip that I have, I'll place that in one, and then the other ones, get ready for it, I'm gonna plant from seed broccoli and cauliflower. So there's two reasons why I thought that maybe this would be a good idea. Originally I thought, let's plant like beans, because I love beans, and I know that the deer love beans also, so the cages will protect them. That's like one of the things that I grow in a cage, because the deer will just mow them down before I even get to harvest anything from them. So that was one thought. And then I realized quickly how many beans Dave and I had last year, and I was overran. And this year I have double that many in the cages already. So maybe beans isn't the most practical idea, although it would be fun to just be overloaded with beans. Maybe that's not the best use of this space. So the other thought was, what else am I actually not really growing in the garden this year that I could grow in these, but grow from seed so it'll come up fast enough that I get a harvest. Like I said, we only have 80 days really of growing season, so I need to think of like what can grow to full maturity from seed to maturity in 80 days. There's not a lot on that list other than things like salad greens, radishes, which we don't really like that much, and they don't need protection. Beets I could probably do. Again, I have so many beets growing. There's just like, there's not really much that I could think of. And then I was like, oh my gosh, last year I grew stuff like cauliflower and Brussels sprouts and all that kind of stuff, and all that needed protection. The one thing that I'm almost positive that I would never get a harvest of is Brussels sprouts, because they do take quite a long time to come to fruition. So the other thing that I thought was broccoli, and I'll tell you why. I have a whole theory on this. Broccoli and cauliflower are part of the brassica family, and brassicas like it cooler. They are cool weather crops, same as stuff like cabbage, kohlrabi, stuff like that. They're all brassicas, and they like it a little cooler. They like cool roots, they like cool temperatures. And a lot of times when Albertans especially plant stuff like any kind of brassica at the same time as everything else, they'll go to seed, because in August, June and August, some of the temperatures can get really high here. And if they get too hot, they will shoot up seed stems and go to bolt, and then you don't get to harvest anything. The plan would be to plant the seeds in these and see if I could get a head of broccoli, man. Look, I did, not last year, but the year before, I did plant broccoli and harvested in about the end of August, I think. And I started them inside. I didn't write anything down last year, so I'm not sure how long it takes, but I think that I might be able to harvest stuff like broccoli and cauliflower in the fall. So I'm gonna try it. I mean, what do I got to lose? I'm either gonna plant nothing, or I'm gonna plant beans or lettuce or something that I don't really need, because I've planned out the rest of my garden. The only thing that I could think of other than that kind of stuff to plant in here is peas, but it's gonna be hard to harvest peas in a cylinder like that. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try the broccoli, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Give it a shot. Make this negative into a positive, okay? Let's do it. Okay, let's give you guys a little bit of a tour of the garden and what things are doing and what things are not doing so well. Okay, so first things first, I need to weed this side of the garden so bad. This was done last week. This week, it's this side. I need to do it really bad. The bees are loving it. Bees, wasps are loving all the dandelions, but I'm just going to start at one side and go to the next. Here, again, I need to weed this bed with these dandelion puffs. Anyways, another thing that you could probably see is little white flowers. This is my strawberry patch. I have this side and this side. And this side, definitely, my mom helped me weed all this out, man. It was so bad in the spring. So these guys, I'm pretty sure, have had the energy just sucked out of them from all the weeds that were in here. I literally have only 2 flowers. I got one there. Yeah, I got one there. That's it. But this side is just popping off with flowers. So that's exciting. Look at this guy. Holy moly. There's lots of little guys on there. So hopefully we'll have some strawberries fairly soon. I'm going to paint some red rocks and plant and put them in there. Apparently that's supposed to help from birds eating your strawberries. I've never had issues with it before, but I don't want to have issues with it. So I'm going to do that. So that's a strawberry patch. And what do we got here? This is where I planted some chamomile. So you can see those little guys. They're so tiny right now on that side and on this side. And then once we move over to the trellis, this is where we start having some issues, guys. Okay, so this is a melon. Honestly, I can't remember which melon it is. I think it might be Kajari. Oh, they just don't look that good. So I don't know if I'm even going to get melons from those. These ones look a little bit better. That is a new leaf. That is an older one, but a new one's coming right up after it. I'm hoping that I get melons this year, you guys. I'm trying so hard to get those, but they don't look that great. This is my corn patch and zucchini patch. So this is all, there's like blocks of corn there, here, there, and there. And then on these, I will have zucchini growing vertically. And I have little corns coming up. So that's exciting. All right, in this first cage, oh my God, so bad. Anyways, it's hard for me to focus when I have weeds that bad. I don't know if you could see the rows that well. I have 4 rows in here. I have Detroit red growing in these 2. I have golden beets growing in that one and white beets growing in this one. And I don't know if you could see it, but I do have some golden beets coming up like really, really strong. So that is reassuring. I also have some Detroit. I could see some Detroit red ones. So that's exciting. I haven't planted these out yet. This is lavender. These are alyssum. I think I'm just going to plant them all in this little area and let them just go to town. Alyssum, fun fact, is a really good companion plant to grow with anything because their root system will literally grow around other root systems. So if you want to put like alyssum as a ground cover as stuff, it is so good for that. Last year, I had all of my tomatoes on these and I had alyssum growing under and they covered almost the entire ground and they didn't affect my tomatoes whatsoever. And if you think about it, a tiny little white flower is kind of reminiscent of a tiny little tomato flower. So you're also working on getting pollinators into the garden to help pollinate the rest of your vegetables. So it's a really good idea to like kind of interplant like that. Okay, so again, just ignore the weeds. These are my little basil transplants. They do have a tiny bit of bug damage, but not bad, you guys. These are actually looking pretty healthy, so I'm excited for those to just take off. Basil starts going crazy once you got it established, so I'm excited for that. I got a whole row of those. Genevieve's basil is like sweet basil, so I'm excited for that. I got little marigolds planted in here, and then I got my black cherry tomato plant, and I have a beefsteak tomato plant right here. I think this should climb, but I'm not sure if it's going to. I have another couple tomato plants that I got from a nursery, from Evergreen Nursery in Red Deer, and I don't know if they are indeterminate or determined, but I put them on here because it doesn't really matter. If it's indeterminate, it can still grow up beside the trellis. It's just not going to get like super tall like this cherry is going to get super tall. Okay, I got new basil that I have never tried before. This is called blue spice basil. And honestly, like when I kind of go like this and smell it, it smells sweet, but it kind of does, it smells spicy. So I'm excited for this one. I'm really, I like making basil blends. So I'll dry all of this. If I have a whole bunch of extra, I'll dry it, and then I'll put it together in one container. I'll mix them all together, and you get like this basil blend. So good. It's like really good on chicken and stuff like that. This is holy basil. I'm excited for that. They also make really beautiful flowers, so I'm excited for that one. Oh, I love the smell of basil. It's like my favorite herb. Okay, and here I have my lettuce. So I've talked about these guys before, but I'll repeat myself. I'm trying this year to do succession growing with lettuce, like big balls of lettuce. What the heck is that called? A head of lettuce. So I have a head of lettuce here, and then the next week I sowed this one, and then this week I will sow this one. And then I have 3 more on that side that I'll do the exact same thing with. The hope is 1 week I can come harvest 1 whole head of lettuce eventually, and then the next week, and so on and so on. And then in the middle here, I have come and cut again lettuce, and it's just a mixed blend. You can see this is like a speckled one, this is like a butter one. And this is, I think that's romaine. So I need to plant in here because for some reason those guys did not germinate. So I got to replant that, but it's cut and come again. So that'll be like a nice lush little row. And then I'll have boop, 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 heads of lettuce. That's the plan. We'll see if it works. In front of that lettuce, I have little nasturtium plants. I love little nasturtiums. I just love their leaves. I think they're so pretty. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's a variegated one. It's an Alaskan mix is what that one's called. They're so pretty. And fun fact, nasturtiums you can eat. And they're really good companion plants. They'll bring bad insects. They'll attract bad insects. So basically, that's why I put them right beside the lettuce. Because if I have any kind of like slug problems or flea beetle problems, these will attract them more than the lettuce will. And then the lettuce will be fine. That's the plan anyways. It worked last year, so I just did it again. If I just kind of scooch over, these are, a couple of them got a little burnt, but they should bounce back. These are echinacea plants. They're so interesting. I've never grown these before, so we'll see. I have a green twister right there, and then the rest of them are echinacea plants. I don't know. They didn't really germinate that well. And they don't look like they're doing super awesome, but we'll keep an eye on them. Right in front of that one is my Swiss chard. So you can see those guys popping up. Swiss chard is so fast growing. And gosh darn, are they prolific as hell. So we'll get lots of Swiss chard. Last year I planted just this many, and I had bags and bags and bags. I couldn't get rid of it fast enough. It was wild. Behind that, again, more basil. This is more Genevieve's basil. You can see how well this stuff is doing. It just like, it takes off, man. So good. I can't wait for that to get massive. This, I'm actually super excited for. I don't know. I might have planted too much in one area. We'll see. This is called lettuce leaf basil. I also planted it like randomly in other spots, just like by themselves, because I wasn't sure if that was going to be too congested. So I did plant them kind of all over the garden as well, just so that I made sure that I got some. I also have some like over here just by itself, just in case planting them really close together like that doesn't work. But lettuce leaf basil produces this massive leaf, and a YouTuber that I watch said that they grow that specifically for wraps. I instantly wanted to try that because I love basil and I think that would be delicious and a nice fresh kind of snack in the summertime or lunch. So that is specifically why I am growing that one. But it'll also be really good, I think, for stuff like pesto. If I can make my own pesto, that would give me a ton of leaves, I think. Just like the amount that you would get from that, I think, would be a lot more. So that's why I'm trying that. It does not smell as sweet as the Genevieve's basil, but I don't care. I'm still going to try it, and I'm excited for it. So there's about that. We're getting to the exciting part, you guys. Okay, so this is tomatoes, more tomatoes. Again, these are nursery purchases. This is a Jubilee yellow tomato, and it looks like it's an indeterminate, so it's going to crawl up. This one was the one that in a previous video you'd seen it of me planting these. I almost let this guy die. He was not watered enough, so that's why these are looking a little brown and stuff. I'm gonna let it grow a few more leaves before I cut that guy off, though. Same with this. There's some crunchy leaves on that, but it'll come. It looks really healthy. Other than that, like, it's got lots of new growth and stuff, so I'm not too worried. And then I got a patio one. This is the one that, this for sure is a determinant tomato. I am almost positive. So that will just grow to be, I don't know, maybe this tall, and then it'll stop growing, but it'll produce all of its tomatoes, and it has a determined amount of tomatoes that'll grow. Whereas this one will probably grow up to be nice and tall, and will have, well, it'll keep on producing throughout the year until it dies, basically, from the frost. And around this guy, like I said before, I have Sweet Alyssum all around this one, and then I have marigolds all around this one. Okay, this is exciting. I have beans growing, guys. These are pink bean. The only one that's coming up is that one right there. And I can see another one coming up there. So that is super exciting, guys. I am mostly excited about beans. I just love them so much. And over here, wait for it. I don't know if you can see these little babies, but they're coming up, guys. Beans. Also, pea check. Peas are doing great. They are slowly but surely climbing up. One thing that I'm slightly worried about is that my cucumbers are not growing up as fast. So the deer might eat these. So don't get your hopes up about eating peas, Tiff. These are the bush pickle cucumbers that I purchased at the greenhouse. And these are the ones that I grew in my house. And they are the martini ones, and they're supposed to grow up nice and tall. They're supposed to cover this thing. So, woohoo, let's see, hopefully. Another thing that's going off is my potatoes. So excited about those. There's nothing like garden potatoes, and nobody can tell me otherwise. So you may all be asking, why haven't you planted your peppers yet? Because I'm lazy. I literally have no other reason other than that I'm lazy. Honestly, I just haven't had time. So that's going to be the project for the day, is clearly weeding and planting the rest of the peppers. And if we move over this, oh, it's just called a delicious tomato, guys. I don't know if this is an indeterminate or determinate. It kind of gives me a look of or a determinate, but I'm just not sure. And my poor melons, you guys, I don't know what's happening. They are not doing well. This is another melon. What the heck? There's a new leaf, though. That's a new leaf, and that's a new leaf. We're gonna have to see. I don't know if it's going well. This is promising, though. This is cilantro. It's doing pretty good over there. He likes his life over there. One thing that is doing so well is this borage. This is my first year growing borage. Borage? Don't know how to say it. But it's going to be huge. It'll grow into like this big kind of bush plant. It'll have bluey purple flowers on it. And another fun fact, you can eat borage flowers. They apparently taste like cucumbers. So I think that'd be really cute to freeze in ice cubes, honestly. So there's that. Huge. This is huge. These are my glass gem corns, guys. These are the ones that I said were controversial because I started them inside, and they are 100. I actually looked it up. They're 105-day variety, not 120-day, as I said before. So I think these are going to do well. I may be over pessimistic or over optimistic, but they look really good. Like, these look so healthy. So, God, I hope these work. I am so excited for these. I know I should not get that excited, but I'm excited. Chives also doing crazy good. I let one kind of go to seed because they have really cute purple flowers on them. That one's about to open. I don't know if you can see that. There. And then this one's just regular. So I'll have lots to harvest. Man, if you want to see it, I have a huge chive plant. I have these big rhubarb plants. Their chive is right there. It's huge. Dave mows over it constantly and just pops right back. Now, on this trellis was the only one that I didn't actually plant anything this year. I honestly can't remember what the plan was for that. Whether it was, I have no idea. I can't remember. I must have kiboshed whatever plan it was to grow something. And I realized last week when I was planting out the entire garden that I didn't plant anything in this trellis. So I'm planting noodle beans. I don't know if they're going to work, guys. Last year I grew cucumbers up with the noodle beans and I planted way too much stuff around them. I also planted like corn around these and cucumbers and then the beans. And for obvious reasons, they didn't grow. They were just way too choked out. There was way too much stuff trying to grow there. So this year, I kept it simple. I planted noodle beans in there. And then I just grew stuff around them that I know deer don't like. Like there's hollyhocks planted in the kind of the corners here and over there. And they grow up really tall. They'll grow faster than the beans. These chives, deers don't like. They don't like the smell of them. And then interesting, I planted this. For those of you that don't know what that is, it is called lemon gum. Oh my gosh. Like lemon balm has nothing on how much scent this has. And I think what I'm going to try and do with that is make essential oils just because it's so fragrant. It is insane. So the plan is hopefully that smells so lemony that they won't even know that these beans are here. But who knows? I don't even know if that's going to work. I also planted hollyhocks along this side, on the other side of the trellis. I planted an eggplant over here. It's the only time I've ever successfully grown eggplant from seed, so hopefully I get some out of that. They're supposed to be little tiny purple ones with white stripes, and they look really cute. So I thought that would be super cute for like barbecuing and stuff. That's the rest of the peppers. I'll do a whole nother video on just peppers, probably just explaining what kinds I have and why I have them. Another borage, a barrage. And this is an amaranth bush. For those of you that don't know what that is, if you can see, it has this little flower on it. This produces like these big, long, droopy kind of tail, fuzzy tail looking things. And you can harvest those for the same use as like quinoa. There's like these little balls that get produced off of those. And you can cook it up like quinoa. I actually did not have luck with that last year because the amaranth that I used, it was really hard to harvest. And I just think that I did it wrong. I should have probably hung the plant. I should have uprooted the plant, hung it upside down to dry, and then shook them. And that's how they would have came out really easily. And I completely did it wrong. So this year I'm planning on trying to do that again. And we'll see if it works. If I come over... More lemons. You guessed right. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I hope that I get something. I have another one over here. Like, I planned on getting like some decent lemons. There's some there too. They don't look as bad. Like, that looks promising, right? I don't know. Don't know. I'm gonna try my best. We'll see. I skipped some stuff. Okay, so come back over here. This is oregano. I've tried planting all of my herbs. All of the edges of the archways, I tried to plant my herbs so that they were easy to find. And most of them, other than that basil over there, they come back every single year. And you know what's funny? I didn't know that parsley comes back every year. So now we all know. Okay, I have Dill here. This is Dill. He's doing really good. He's nice and happy. I also planted carrots in these rows, but none of them are coming up yet. The only thing coming up are weeds. So we'll skip that. What do we have here, guys? These, my friends, are cucamelons. They're so cute. And they taste like a cucumber with a splash of lemon. And they're tiny and they're adorable and they look like little tiny watermelons. So there you have it. They're one of my favorite things to snack on in the garden. Okay, cucamelons. And then, what is this? I can't remember. Oh, these are butternut squash. They actually look really good. I planted butternut squash last year and they didn't do very well. But like I said, I kind of overplanted a lot of stuff. So hopefully I'll get some butternut squash. If you already didn't know what this is, that, oh, smells so good, is mint. It comes back like a weed and I love it. I literally, everybody tells you not to plant mint in your garden. Why not? Don't you want it to come back? I don't know. It just I've always thought that that's such an awesome thing, that it just like readily comes back and it's crazy. And I love that. If I don't want it in a place, like if this starts going onto the path way too much, I'll just rip it out. Problem solved. Easy peasy, easy peasy. Okay, these are onions. I have red ones and white ones. I don't know which are which, and it doesn't matter because they're onions and I love them. And once I pull them out, I'll be like, oh, look, this one's red. So I didn't label them. The other thing I have right here is parsley. Like I said, I have all my herbs here. So that's parsley. This is lemon balm. Again, people say don't plant that stuff in your garden. Guys, I'm planting it. This guy's taking off. This is sage. Oh my God, look how beautiful that one is. He's doing so good. That was a nursery plant. He's doing really good. On this side, what are these ones? This is the, yeah, okay. So these ones, this is another squash. I kind of put the squash on this side of the garden. It's a little cooler over here at certain points of the day because the trees, these trees block the sun quite a bit in the late afternoon, and the squash like that. So this is, it's like I can't remember how to pronounce it. Jarndale. They're black. They're like blacky blue, big like kind of pumpkins. And I have them crawling up this. I don't know if they're going to work that well, but I thought that they looked super cool. So even if I get like one, I'll be happy. And then this, they're called Delica squash. And they kind of look, they have the same shape as a spaghetti squash, but they have really tender skin like a zucchini, and they're striped. I don't know, they do have lots of new growth, but they don't look super healthy. So we'll see how those guys do. That's all that's planted out here. I have thyme here, I have lemongrass here. You guys already saw that melon. And then I put a butterfly bush here. It's really hard to see. He's so tiny, but they're supposed to get up to like six feet big. So I don't know. We'll see. That's why it's like the only thing here, because I didn't want it to explode too crazy. So the plan is, this is the vision for the melons, okay? Melons. A sea of green from this plant. And another sea of green from this plant. And then I have hollyhocks right here, and they'll just grow up from the seed. It's like an interpretive dance. That's why it's so important for my melons to work, you guys, so that I can have a beautiful landscape in the back. Anyways, whatever, that's the plan for the melons, and why I also have hollyhocks kind of planted in the middle. I think it'll be super cute, but I think that, honestly, that's the rest of the garden tour. There's not much more to tell. So yeah, that's it for this one.
A few moments later.
I'm trying to compose myself before I show you what I got. So, I'm just at my work right now, and I got a package. I'll give you a second to figure out what it was. These are my slips. I can't wait. I gotta open it now. Oh my gosh, I do not know what to expect right now. Okay, it shows me how to plant them. Oh my god, you can see little greenies on there. They smell gross. Guys, look at it. These are my sweet potatoes. Sweet potato slips. Shit. I don't know how this is gonna look, but they're in my car. I had to get out of there because I didn't want to be all loud and crazy when I got my potato seed package or slip package. I'm just so excited. Okay, so Covington sweet potato. I'm so excited. Like, this is, I thought I wasn't gonna get my sweet potato slips, you guys. And now I have 10 of them. So I did order 10. It cost me $56. That's why I was so upset that I didn't get them, but, oh, so this is what I did. I went online this morning and I went and emailed them and said, hey, I don't think that I'm getting my sweet potatoes or my sweet potato slips. What's, like, is this a, I was honestly so concerned that there was like a fake company or some kind. But they emailed me back as I was doing the rest of that video and said, this is your tracking number. Canada Post mailed them and they should have been delivered on Thursday. Today, like right now, it's Saturday. I'll be doing this video on Monday, but today is Saturday and they were delivered Thursday. And I was like, what? And I was like, man, I've been checking my mailbox and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I guess I haven't checked it since Thursday. And then I went back in my emails and I was like, man, I delivered these to my work because I'm here all the time. So I delivered them, not to my house. I delivered them to work. So I got one of my peeps to check the mail for me. And lo and behold, there was a package and I have my sweet potato slips. So now that I have those, I'm gonna go home and I'm going to plant them, and I will do a little time lapse of me planting them. I don't even care if it's raining. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to plant them, and it's going to be great. Tell you guys the story about the sweet potatoes. So last year I wanted to grow sweet potatoes so bad. We ate a lot of sweet potatoes and I did my research about them. I read a whole bunch of stuff, watched a bunch of videos, and basically everything said that you couldn't really grow them up here, and I find that to be odd because I feel like you could probably grow whatever you want given the right circumstances and environment and all this other stuff. So I watched a bunch of videos and learned that you can make your own slips or you can purchase slips. So last year I was out of time to grow my own. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I will just find a company that will ship them to me. And so I set out to look for business or companies that sell sweet potato slips. And now at the time of me doing this, I thought that it would be best to try and look for a local place because it is a live plant. The less time it takes to travel to me, the better I felt. So I looked at local greenhouses and I phoned every single one of them, and nobody had those to sell. I even contacted a rather large greenhouse in my area and had I'm assuming an older woman, say to me on the phone when I asked for potato slips or if they sold them, she said, "Oh, honey, you cannot grow those here." And I may or may not have already called a million other greenhouses. And she said this to me, and I was like, listen here, I will show you that I can grow sweet potatoes. I don't care what it takes. So that was last year, and I couldn't find the right place to sell me them. So I never grew them last year. But all winter, I was just sitting there, steaming, thinking, I can do this, and I know that I can. I just need to do it properly. So I did a lot more research. I looked into it. I found out what I would need and looked up what I thought would be a reputable company to purchase them from online. So when I found this company online to purchase them, it was really early in the year. I didn't need to purchase them yet. So they shipped within Canada, all this other stuff. They were like reasonably priced. And so whatever, that happened. And I just wanted that as a backup plan because I actually did want to make all of my own slips. And that was the plan. As you heard before, that failed. So I was like, okay, no worries. I have this other company that I'm going to buy the sweet potato slips from. And I go and look at their website. And for some reason or another, this year, they decide not to sell sweet potato slips. So I am freaking out once again, thinking, listen, I need to prove to that old lady and to myself that I can do this year. So I go looking for different companies again. The only one that I found, and I mean the only one, because I have looked online for other ones and there were reputable companies online that I had searched and they were sold out, or I just couldn't find any that shipped within Canada. So this other place, TNT Seeds is the name, and they had a good assortment of sweet potatoes to choose from. So I chose the one that suited this area and I ordered them. They were definitely pricier than what I wanted to spend, but at this point I did not care. I really wanted sweet potatoes. So I ordered them, and I ordered 10 slips, which cost me $56.64, and I don't think that's including shipping. So it was not cheap, but honestly, for me, it's more about the learning and maybe my pride, just a hint of my pride that I was paying for. So I ordered these. I got back from Mexico on the 18th of May. When I got back and looked at the state of the sweet potato slips that I had been trying to grow, they had not come far enough along, and I knew that I was going to need to purchase them. So that's when I started my search. I looked online, found that one that no longer was selling them, and then figured out that all these other companies were sold out, blah, blah, blah. By the time that I actually ordered them, it was probably the 20th or maybe 21st of May. Today is what's the date today? It's got to be close to like the 11th of June. And I hadn't got them yet. And I was like, what is happening? did I get bamboozled? And I've been literally telling all of my clients that I think that I just wasted basically $60 on slips that I'm still never going to get. So long story short, I was devastated yet again that I wasn't going to be able to plant my sweet potatoes. And I really didn't care about broccoli or cauliflower, so I didn't want to plant those either. But I was trying to look on the bright side, whatever. Long story short, got them. This is me as a super happy camper. It is interesting because the one that I grew definitely looks a lot healthier than the other ones, and there was one rotten one that was done in that package, but it's okay. I had more than enough because I had 10 and I already had a bag full, so it's not a big deal. But I'm interested to see if I even get any tubers from them. It'll definitely be one of the things that I'm super excited to show everybody about. So anyways, that was the story about why it was such a big deal to me that I got sweet potatoes and the sweet potato slips, I guess I should say. So anyways, that is now the end of the video. Thanks for those who have stayed for the journey. And I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe and do all the things in the sun. Love you. Bye.